All right. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Thursday, April 27th Planning Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is called to order. Commissioner DeGraff, or Tamman, excuse me?
Here.
No, I would
Here.
like to make a,
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mark Roscoe acting chairman in the absence of Daniel Dash.
Second?
okay, approved? Okay, thank you. Jen, roll call, please.
Okay, Commissioner Pro Tem Mark Roscoe,
Here.
Corinne Frank Watson,
Here.
Scott DeGraff,
Here.
Neil Patel,
Here.
John Tamman,
Here.
Machi,
Here.
Okay, and Chairman Dash is absent with prior notice, so we do have a quorum this evening. We're going to start off with the approval of our minutes from March 23rd, 2017. Everyone had a chance to review them. Anyone have any changes, adds, corrections, comments?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Okay, Jen, a vote?
Commissioner Frank Watson,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Machi,
Aye.
and Chairman Pro Tem
Aye.
Roscoe.
Okay, we're good on that.
Too.
Me
You
too.
were
yeah,
the first.
you're right, you're
and you
right,
were the
you're
second. Good. Do I have to call you when you're first and second?
No.
Okay,
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Okay,
okay.
so we're good on that. Old business from last meeting that we have to cover, there's nothing
That's okay.
at this point. But I would like to put up a motion, propose to change the agenda's order this evening. Like to move case ZBA 1705SU to be our first case, and ZBA 1706V to be our second case. This is due to some new information about these two cases that I found out yesterday, and I'd like to put those two first. I need a motion
I'll make the motion.
for approval.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, voice vote?
Aye.
Jen? Sorry.
Okay, Commissioner DeGraff,
Aye.
Commissioner Machi,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
and Commissioner, Chairman Roscoe.
Aye.
You forgot me.
You were the first, Commissioner.
Oh,
Frank
I didn't know
Watson.
if I had to vote on it. I made the motion.
What do you think? Yay? All right. She's an aye. Okay. So our first case this evening, zoning public hearing case, ZBA 17-05SU, the applicant, Ruben Avelis, I hope I said that right? Okay. Lucky 7 Cafe, address 1513 East Thayer, Mount Prospect. The description of his request is a consideration of a special use permit for a 950-square-foot sit-down restaurant in the B1 Retail Business District per section 5-7-2C of our zoning ordinance. The property is commonly known as 5 South Wolf Road, Prospect Heights, 60070. I need a motion to open a public meeting. Roll call vote, please.
I'll make a motion to open up.
Second.
Okay. Ruben, would you mind coming forward, please? I need to swear you in. You can come to the front of the podium here. Raise your right, at the podium, right into the microphone there.
Don't we need a voice vote for all in favor to open?
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do a voice vote. Hang on one second.
Voice vote from all the commissioners to open the hearing?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
All right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. All right. Could you tell us what you'd like to do this evening?
Well, I like to get a continuance
Okay,
due to stuff that I have to do more.
okay. To
So-
provide more information to the
Yes.
board?
If it be all right with you until, next month, is it?
Next month, our next meeting is May 25th,
Right.
Thursday. Mr. Taylor, do you have anything to add?
No, I agree with him. He's got new drawings and
Yeah.
more information to present that we require, so we do need that information.
Right, that's the only thing. So I could have that done, so.
Okay. Based on information to the board, may I get a motion to grant a continuance for ZBA 17-05SU?
Motion to continue?
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay.
Also, it's going to be Ruben's Bar and Grill. Lucky 7 cannot be used because due to, I think, gambling machine company owns that name, so.
Okay.
So I changed it to, with the lawyers and all that, they did all the
Just get
paper.
us that information.
Yeah, everything
Yeah,
is done.
if you could contact at least Dan Peterson
Yeah, or Dennis, yeah.
to Mr. Taylor, thank you,
Okay.
just to make sure that all gets properly
All right.
noticed for everyone.
Okay.
Okay, so our next meeting is Thursday, May 25th, and we'll see you then. If there's
Okay.
anyone here that's interested in that case, just so you know, we won't be hearing any more about that tonight, so if you want to skip the rest of the meeting, just so you know, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. We good, John, with everything? Okay.
Okay.
All right, our second case this evening, case ZBA 17-06V, applicant Joe Pascucci, sorry? Pascucci, thank you, sorry. 697 Glendale Drive, Prospect Heights. Description of request was applicant originally applied for a variation to encroach 13 feet into the required 15-foot side yard setback, the purposes of constructing a third-car bay onto his primary structure to store his work truck, per section 5-6-1E2 of the city code. The applicant has amended the request for a variation to encroach 3 feet into the required 5-foot side yard setback for the purpose of constructing a driveway into the required side yard to access his rear yard to construct a detached garage per our section 5-6-2EA. So the first thing I need to do is have a motion to open a public hearing on this matter, and it's a roll call vote.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I need everyone, it's a roll call.
Okay, Commissioner Machi,
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff,
Aye.
Commissioner Tamman,
Aye.
Commissioner Frank Watson,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
and Chairman Pro Temp.
Aye. Joe, would you mind coming up to the front? I need to swear you in. If you could come up to the microphone. Hi, sorry.
This is my wife, Gina.
Nice to meet you. If you could raise your right hand, state your name and address for the record.
Joseph H. Pascucci, 697 Glendale Drive, Prospect Heights, Illinois.
Thank you. And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. All right, if you could tell us why you're here tonight?
Well, I'm here tonight to ask for a continuance. I need to basically figure out more information with the city. We're working on trying to figure out different areas and investigate more.
Okay.
So
Understood.
Continuance is what I'm asking for.
Okay. Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Dave, we need more information regarding location, floodplain, like that, so once we get that documentation, we can make a better.
Okay. Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have a motion to grant a continuance to the next meeting of May 25th, 2017. Can I get a
I'll make
Motion.
that, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
second? And Jen, can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Machi,
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff,
Aye.
Commissioner Tamman,
Aye.
Commissioner Frank Watson,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
and Chairman Pro Temp Roscoe.
Aye. So we'll see you again in May, May 25th, 2017. And the same as earlier, if anyone's here regarding this case, you feel free to stay for the next case, but if you're interested in just returning in May, that'd be fine. So thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Have a good evening.
Okay. All right. Second here. Okay, our next case this evening. Public meeting case ZBA-17-04. Applicant Joseph Papanicolas. The address we're talking about is 1201-2 and 1209 North Drury Lane, Arlington Heights, 6004. The applicant has purchased a property at 1209 North Drury Lane and legally demolished the old structure on the property. The applicant is applying for plat consolidation subdivision slash subdivision to combine the lots into a single lot so he can legally construct an in-ground pool and accessory structure on this lot. City ordinance prohibits structures to be constructed on a lot without a primary structure. Side note for everyone, this is a two-part thing tonight. The first part we're talking about is the pin consolidation of the two lots together, and then after that, there's a variation for height. So the first part we're talking about is just putting the lots together. I'm going to open a public meeting. There's no vote required for that because it's a public meeting, not a hearing on this. Joe, can you come forward? If you don't mind saying your name and address, and then I'll swear you in.
Joseph Papanikolaou, 1201 North Drury Lane,
Okay.
Arlington Heights, Illinois, 6004.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. All right, if you could kind of tell us what
Thank you.
what you'd like
Sure.
to do.
It's a couple of
Just
things.
regarding putting the lots together first.
Okay. I'm here to request the consolidation of both 1201 and 1209 Drury Lane.
Okay. And the goal is to make these one property that are not divisible in the future?
Correct.
Okay,
At this time.
at this time. Okay. Let's see here. Assistant Director Taylor, anything to add?
Not that it would meet all the requirements.
Okay. Commissioners, we've all had a chance to look things over. Does anyone have any conversation they'd like to add to this about adding, combining these lots into one? Okay, I understand the request that you're asking for, so I need a motion to recommend approval then of this plat consolidation, and that would be a roll call vote.
So moved.
Actually, I'm sorry. I need a motion first. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Okay, and a second,
Second.
and then a roll call vote, sorry.
Commissioner Machi,
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff,
Aye.
Commissioner Tamman,
Aye.
Commissioner Frank Watson,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Roscoe.
Aye. Okay, so that's good. We're good on that. We'll officially close the public meeting regarding the consolidation of the lots, and we'll move on to our next stage. You can hang out right there for a minute if you don't mind. Assistant Director, tell you have anything I missed on that, or you good?
No, it's good on the
Okay.
lot consolidation.
Thank you. All right. Our second part of this tonight is case ZBA 17-04V. Applicant, Mr. Joe Papanikolaou, 1201 to 1209 North Drury Lane, same address. The application is requesting a variation to allow maximum height of an accessory structure, which is going to be the pool house, to be 27 foot 1 foot above grade, 27 foot 1 inch above grade, which is higher than our maximum 15 foot by section 5-3-9D of our code. This amended request, the original notice was for 25 foot 1, and it was amended about 14 days ago to 27-1. Is that, that's correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay, we have a few items to enter into the record first, before we get started on all the details. For the record, item 1, our completed application. Number 2, subdivision, we have our plats we've all seen. 3 was the hardship letter. 4th, elevations. 5th was our site plans. 6th was the modified variation request letter, it's the one I referred to going from 25 to 27. Number 7 is our elevations. 8th is proof of notice, which is in our file. And 9 is our zoning review from Director Peterson. Do you have any additional green cards or mailing sheets? You got, you just got that? Okay, so we're all good on all the paperwork end of it. So what I'd like to do now is, I've already sworn you in, Mr. Papanikolaou. If you could give us some information on what you'd like to do.
Sure. Now that the lots appear to be consolidated, the pool house is now an accessory structure to my main residence. So I'm here to ask for a variance on the 15-foot max height. 2 reasons why. A, now that I have another 100 by 266 worth of land, I want to appropriately fill that space. There is one structure that I'm proposing to put on this lot. It's about 150 foot setback from the roadway. And then secondly, I want to design something that's in scale with the main home, which is at 1201 right now. So those are the 2 main reasons,
Okay,
to make it as aesthetically pleasing as possible.
okay. If I can have you sit down for a few minutes, we'll talk about a few things here. Anyone in the audience would like to speak tonight about what's going forward? I ask you to come forward, state your name and address for the record. You can do it now and ask questions later, or no? Everybody's good? Okay. Let's see here. All All right, so that puts us back to the commissioners. All right, everyone's had a chance to review the prints, the plans, the exhibits. We need to have a little discussion. Questions? You want to start?
Yeah, what do you plan to do with the utilities between the two buildings?
You can come back forward. No, thank you, sir.
It'll all have its own service, so there will be no utilities coming from the existing property at 1201 or the existing home at 1201, so they'll be separate,
Okay,
separate ComEd, Nightcore,
well,
Comcast, sanitary, everything will be at separate service going to the pool house.
okay, and the well too? Does that have its
And
own
the well, yep,
Okay.
everything. So it'll be basically pretty close to the identical setup that I did at 1201 will be at 1209.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you planning to put a fence around the house?
Yes. The entire area will be fenced in. So we're going to modify the fence a little bit at 1201 on the north property line. And everything will continue around 1209, so it'll be 100% fenced in.
Yeah.
And lots of landscaping. So it's the majority of it's landscaping.
Yeah.
You've added a little bit of square footage to your lot,
We have
so,
to fill it in, so,
yeah, needs a little something.
yep.
Commissioners?
I did have a, at first when I saw the height requirement, or the change, I was a little taken back because it is 80% more than what we require. After, driving by and working with you with the sewer, obviously, when it's set back like that, it does need to match the house. And I totally agree with the height at this point, and it does need to match. The thing that I'd like to ask, maybe from staff or from Director Taylor, is when I know, as far as the code requires for an additional outbuilding, such as a garage or a pool house in this case, for a normal half-acre lot, it would be 720.
Correct.
I know since he's consolidating the lots and you've got almost an acre and a half now, there is a provision in there for an additional 400, which would be at 1120. The pool house that I did quick calculations on is coming up to about 1320. So it is kind of maxing the property out for.
It's maxing the property out. There'll be no additional structures, pavement, or anything that could be ever added to that lot. You couldn't get another shed, you couldn't get a sidewalk, you couldn't get any covered surface area. So at that point, there is no leeway for the future.
Okay. That's the only question I had.
My calculations were just under 1,200, based on what I saw. Is that,
I think it's approximately 30 by 44, the building itself.
okay? The height is something that I'm concerned with. I understand the size of the main house. Looks great. Spent a lot of time working on it. But it is, I looked at the blueprints and the drawings, and
That's what I said.
the 25-foot original seemed a little high, and then 2 feet, no one can notice 2 feet in my mind. No one's going to notice 2 feet, but 27 over 15, that's 12 feet higher than what normally you'd expect to see there. So that is what really, drives some concern that I've heard.
In my opinion, if you think about it, this is kind of it's going to look like a separate house in its entirety, especially where the structure is built. You wouldn't see a separate house that's only 15 feet tall.
Right.
I think it would look odd if it was 15 feet tall, to be honest with you, because the house, I drove by it today too, and I think if I had a choice in it, I'd want it taller, just because it won't go with the house next to it, and especially being a separate structure, not attached or being complementary, it's going to look like its own residence to a point with the way this house, the plans look. So I think having it taller actually makes it more pleasing than having it 15 feet, because it's going to look like a small house compared to a big house next to it. And we have enough of those already. So I think if we allow the 27, I think it'll go along with more of a development that we're looking for bigger houses in Prospect Heights, and that's just my opinion on it.
So the thought process, if it remained a single-family lot, we'd be able to go to 30 feet anyways.
Exactly, yeah.
Understood.
My concern, although I think it's a beautiful plan, is that this is an accessory building. It's not a single-family home. And our ordinance is designed to protect our residential neighborhoods for this very reason. I was looking over the standards for variations, and I have a very hard time seeing how you meet the standard of a hardship. A variance should be granted only when the ordinance would create an unnecessary hardship in order to obtain the variance. You must show the following. One is that the hardship would result from strict application of our ordinance. Two would be that the hardship results from conditions that are peculiar to the property. And three would be that the hardship is not a self-created hardship. In this situation, I don't see how you meet that standard. I completely understand that you want curb appeal and that you have a much larger home than surrounding homes, and you want your accessory building to match and to fill in the space. Unfortunately, by allowing such a significant variance, I feel that we are undermining our ordinance and what it's designed to protect. I won't be able to approve a 12-foot, 1-inch variance. I would be willing to, approve something less than that, but I just think that we're really watering down what this ordinance is designed to protect, and hopefully, we can come to a compromise.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind too, the 27 foot's to the top of the cupola, so it's
Right.
actually less than 10 feet.
Okay.
We still require standards to be met, and I just don't see how those two were met, which are special conditions, and that it's not a self-created hardship.
I would think I think the idea of that ordinance is if you have a house that's, let's say, 15 feet tall, you don't want a structure, an accessory structure being taller than that. Considering that this particular house is well past 27 feet, I would assume it's 35. I think it goes with the property, and if this was my house, I'd probably want to build something like this. I wouldn't want something like a 15-foot structure next to it. I'd want something tall, just because it is an accessory structure, I understand this, but this is kind of a special accessory structure where it's got to look like its own residence to a point.
And in reality, as far setback as it is, and the height that it's at, and a 6-foot fence that's 45 feet from the road, and this is 150 feet back with that angle, you might only see 8 feet of it, in reality, from the road.
Okay. All right. Commissioners, anything else at that end?
Go
I
ahead.
sorry. I think the scale of the building is right. Looks very proportionate. The roof line, the top of the roof is 22 feet, so it's 7 feet over 15. There's an accessory up on top, makes it beautiful. I think the balance of the building looks nice. The scale looks nice.
I'd like to make a comment as far as, since the lot is going to be consolidated, theoretically, he could put a permanent structure in literally from the main house to the pool house, and then he could officially go to 30 feet. So does it really, at this point, it really doesn't matter. So, but I do agree that, it's going to look dwarfed on that single lot if it was lower.
Right, and typically, though, we wouldn't let the primary structure be 5 feet off the property line and be 30 feet tall.
No, you.
And we're right at the property line also.
Right.
So we got to keep that in mind, that we have a neighbor on the north. So, okay, any other discussion on the roof at the moment? Okay. What's your plan for, I know we're talking about roof, but we got to talk about the whole property. Lighting. Just so you know, we haven't met before. It's a pleasure to meet you this evening. I'm one of your neighbors.
Yes.
I live behind you and down about 3 or 4 houses.
Okay.
Watched through construction. You spent a lot of time and money. It's nice to see the improvement, on there. And the neighbor behind me, there's been a lot of improvement in the neighborhood, so it's nice.
Thanks.
Your lighting in the backyard on the sport court and stuff like that, it's pretty apparent to the neighborhood. And I'm guessing no one's ever come up and knocked on the door and says, hey, what about the lights? I know on my side, a few people, we've talked about it. We've joked around a little bit about it, at Wrigley Field. You know, Wrigley Field finally got lights. You know, Drury is
There are-
getting brighter.
There will be no lighting
So-
like that at the pool area. There'll be accent lighting, obviously, at night for the pool for safety reasons.
Right.
But there won't be anything like that,
Okay.
so.
Would like you to consider the current lighting. There seems to be a lot of spillover into the neighborhood yards. The yards behind you and over each direction. The LED fixtures you have, there's some you can think about doing with shielding.
Shields, yes, yep.
To try to watch that spillover from behind. Now, your side to side will be great, because now you own the lot next door, and the spillover isn't an issue. But for going behind you, it's always been a very dark, quiet little area. I have kids, so there's been noise from my kids. And I grew up there, so I was a noisy kid too. So that's not an issue. We had lights, but just to consider something to do some spillover
Yeah,
for behind you.
That lighting layout was designed to stay over the court, but if
Right.
there is some spillover, which I'm sure there is,
Yeah. And,
I will look into that
and-
with Lithonia and look at some.
and you're in a great neighborhood. So it just, you know, we've kind of joked around with a couple neighbors and even a couple on my side that we just never knocked on the door and said, hey, you know, what about the spillover?
Is it my
And-
kids' music?
What's that?
Is it my kids' music or the lights?
Yeah, the kids' music is fine.
I will look into that.
We have kids.
I will look into that.
So, retaining wall was originally a concern of mine. We talked about the height of the structure, and then I noticed that there's a retaining wall on the front side or the street side of it, and I was concerned that that was building up the foundation, and then the structure would be even higher. Director Peterson we went over the topographic map yesterday, and he kind of showed me the layout of it.
So there's two retaining walls, just as a product of the nature of the existing grade that's there. The original intent for 1201 was to actually have a retaining wall on the north side of the tennis court.
Okay.
In lieu of that, I was able to gain permission from the previous owner of 1209 to not put that retaining wall in, because obviously there's a tennis court there.
Right.
So we carved the grade back a little bit and put a fence in. But I'm looking actually to put that retaining wall back in behind the tennis.
Behind the tennis court. The,
Fill the grade back in to where it used to be, and then retaining wall on the west side, which I think you were alluding
Right.
to.
that's,
That's
there's,
just to accommodate the deck. So the deck, the pool deck, I don't want to have more than 1% pitch for the pool deck. So in order to achieve that, but maintain existing grade, we're going to end up with a retaining wall
on the west side.
Correct.
And there is no retaining wall along the north side where
No.
the fence is
No, there'll be
going.
no retaining wall on the north or the east.
And I also reviewed part of your blueprint showing your drainage, that you're directing it basically south and then
Yes.
west on the
So
property.
another thing, I don't want to sheet drain across the pool deck. I want to put it underground. So we're basically taking the water east of the deck and north, so basically the northeast corner of the property,
Okay,
heading south, taking that underground,
out to the
heading
front.
south, and then to the front, just like
Okay.
I did at 1201. Yep,
Okay.
same concept.
I did have one thing now. You brought up this being an accessory structure, and it doesn't have to follow the 15 feet off the property line. Now we're 5 feet. Is that correct? This is 5 feet off the property line? On the,
5 feet off the property line.
so is there,
Is this 5 or is it 7?
I think it's a little bit more than 5, yeah.
It's a little
Yeah, it's
more.
more than
But
five.
it meets the 5.
The walk
5
is
is the
5, it's probably at least 10.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know off the top of my head, but it's at least 10.
have you looked into keeping this within, like, if we're treating this, like, I'm looking at it as a house, but if we're looking at it as a house, I would expect it to follow the guidelines of a house which would be the 15 feet, I believe. Have you looked into bringing this closer to your existing residents now they're being consolidated?
Commissioner, I did look at
It's
that.
11 and a half
I was
feet right
concerned.
now.
It's 11 and a half
11
feet.
and a half feet right now from the north property line
For some reason, I thought we were 7, but 11 and a half
to the building.
for the building. Okay, so we're close on that.
It's 15, right? It's supposed to be?
Yes,
15,
it's what it's for a building would be 50.
okay. All right. All right. Any other commissioners? Comments, questions? Assistant Director Taylor, anything you'd like to
Yeah,
add?
yes, we have a couple things. One was hours of operation, too. That was a concern. Lights were part of the concern, but hours of operation. people using the pool like all night could be considered an issue.
Are you charging admission?
No.
Okay, then,
3 of my 4, so the background behind this, it's a large pool. 3 of my 4 kids swim competitively. So that's where this whole
Well,
thing
they're looking at not,
came from,
a
so.
lot of noise and stuff in the middle of the night, is what they're saying. The other one was,
as long as the gate's unlocked, that's okay. We'll stop. Yeah, we just need a gate in the back, so.
98% of the year, it's very quiet in my backyard.
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay, there's a small percentage of time that obviously there's something going on.
right. I'm
we
I'm good
are-
with that.
we are
But
going
you had
to,
to bring it up, okay?
we are going to have a stipulation too, that this is an accessory structure, that the pool will never become a residential use, and if it did turn into somehow a residential use, you'd have to go through the proper procedures. But as this is an accessory structure, no one can live in there. It can only be used for accessory uses.
Correct.
That'll be put in the documentation we do for the building permit.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Anyone else have anything? Okay, motion to close the public hearing. Roll call vote, please. Actually, a motion to close.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Maichi.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Tamman.
Aye.
Commissioner Frank Watson.
No.
Commissioner
No,
Patel.
excuse me, can I clarify? This is a motion to close the public
Oh,
hearing.
I'm sorry, aye, sorry. I was
That's okay.
Drifting off.
That's all right.
Commissioner Patel
Aye.
and Chairman Pro Tem Roscoe.
Aye. Okay.
Thanks.
You could be seated if you don't mind. So we talked about that. All right, so we've deliberated a little bit. We've had questions. Would someone care to make a motion? The motion would be to approve. We are on case ZBA-1704V. It would be to approve the case as stated with conditions of, that it is maxed out on square footage for accessory structures, and that this is not going to be a, what was the phrase you used? A resident?
Residential accessory
It
use
won't
only.
be occupied?
Right.
And anything else, Commissioner, would like to add?
Can we add it stays minimally at 11 feet off that lot line as an accessory structure? If we're going to prove the height, I don't want the ability to encroach past that if we stay within this 11 feet. If it's taken,
I would say we could do that, but are you positive that it's 11 feet off? 11 and a half, okay, then we can, I'd hate to have a typo and.
let's add that to it, because if, I just don't want ability to Kim to get to the 5 and then,
Okay. You good with, Joe, are you good with that? 11? Right, okay. Everyone else?
Oh, lighting,
Lighting?
being shielded or deflected.
I don't, that's a,
Separate.
That's a separate issue.
It's the lighting on the
I
porch.
think we can.
Oh, I didn't know
we
if it
can
was for the
keep in-
pool. Okay.
We can keep in the record that Joe has agreed to address that, but it won't be part of the variation.
Okay.
that's the good neighbor thing.
Yeah.
I have a sport car too, I got the same problems.
Okay, so can I get a motion, please?
I'll give you a motion to approve as noted.
Second?
Okay, roll call vote, please?
Okay, Commissioner Machi.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Tamman.
Aye.
Commissioner Frank Watson.
No.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem
Aye.
Roscoe.
Okay. So at that note, the board has approved your request. What happens now is we're a recommending body of city council, so it's going to go to city council. Their next meeting is May 8th. They may ask you for additional questions or things, but at our point, you have the recommendation from this body to move forward, so. And that is it for our cases this evening. Communications, Greenbrier Assisted Living Facility is the grand opening Wednesday, May 10th, 4 to 7 p.m. So if anyone would like to come out and see the new facility before you end up going there permanently, that was for Scott. We're good. Assistant Director Taylor, anything to add before we adjourn?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out this evening, and our meeting is, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
I won't say no that time.